What will be the new threat of the season?
Well, there's multiple threats this season. There's the threat of her supernatural heroes trying to get home to Mystic Falls, and of course Damon and Bonnie trying to get home. Period, because where they are, it's not easy to get out of, and there's this ever sort of growing sense of dread that somebody out there is not really happy with them and is determined to mess with their world. So the threats are going to come from some surprising places in the beginning and kind of grow and grow more steadily over the course of the season until basically it's sort of coming at everybody from all sides.
What kind of role will Colin Ferguson have in that?
Colin is playing a character. It's funny, at the other table just said, "Oh, when you cast Colin Ferguson as your new villain," and I said, "It's actually not true." Colin is playing a man who is very invested in the community of Mystic Falls and very invested, in the bucolic, sleepy, safe community of Mystic Falls, which it is now. Now that the supernaturals are not able to enter, so he's just a man who's going to want to try to keep it that way. So the conflict there will come from his want, which is to keep it a safe place. The problem is that our heroes, half of them want their way back in.
What kind of storyline do you have planned for Caroline this season?
Caroline's got a terrific storyline, and I won't spoil anything for the second half of the season, although it's going to be pretty big. But in the beginning, it's really just about her trying to pick up the pieces and figure out how she's supposed to be living her life. Caroline Forbes has always been the girl with the lists and the spreadsheets, pro and con columns, and matching nail polish for everything, and the perfect dress and the perfect event and the perfect dance party. And so she's feeling a little displaced from her community, from her home, and also now from her friends, because each of them are dealing with what they've lost in a different way. And her mom is still sitting inside Mystic Falls as the sheriff. She can't even go have a single lunch with her mom in her own hometown or go sleep in her bed, And I remember in college that was always a big thing. When you're first year or so that you're away, you kind of are constantly being drawn back home. And Caroline is still in that place and has to come to terms with the fact that she can't go home to do her laundry or otherwise, And so she's going to have to kind of start over and figure herself out.
And can you tease about any potential love interests or new developing relationships with the new season?
I can tease a little, just a little. I think that something that we're really excited about is seeing Tyler in a new dynamic with somebody. One of the fun things that's happened over the 4 months is that he and Elena have actually become buddies, like really good buddies. And so seeing him have like a girlfriend, like he used to have with Caroline before they got together is really enjoyable. And then seeing him kind of have the hots for somebody, not Elena, but the hots for somebody, and develop a romance with him. He hasn't really had a romance since Caroline, and they've come back to a good place with each other. So it's time for him to find something for himself. So I'm excited about that.
Alaric is gone, but Damon is gone, but Alaric is back.
Yes.
But what about Stefan? Will he bond with Alaric, or how will that dynamic be?
I think that one of the bigger surprises of when we come back is how Stefan's been handling the loss of his brother and the circumstances that surrounded it, and who he's decided to stay close to and who he hasn't. So I'll have to give you the big wait and see on that one.
You get a lot of tweets from your Brazilian.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're Brazilian fans. They suggest a lot of stuff. Delina is very popular down there, you know that. But anyways, at what point do you consider the fans' opinions and suggestions?
Well, I'll tell you, in the beginning of the first couple seasons, it was a lot because they would latch on to something that they really loved, and it was really fun for us, when it didn't really impact story one way or the other, to layer things in, and so the big trend over the last 2 years is this Delana Kiss in the Rain, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, and I read it and I laugh because I just know how horrible that would be to shoot, and just how god awful, everyone would be so miserable because of the rain and the rain towers and it's cold and blah. what nightmare hair and makeup disaster. But you know, stuff like that. It's like the kind of thing that it doesn't hurt the story. You're not letting somebody's want take you one road or another. You're just saying, boy, it would be nice if there was ever a Delana kiss, if we could ever do it in the rain, just for those people. You know, even if it's 10 of them or 1,000 of them or 100,000 of them, I have no idea. But they've been at it for like 2 years, so it's like you kind of want to like slip them a little gift, you know. That being said, I have no plans for Delana kiss in the rain right now.
So are you this season going to be more actively involved, I guess is the word, as far as writing for this season than We Love Caroline Dries, just in general?
Yeah, no, I mean, Treasy was so perfect last year because I was able to launch the beginning of the originals, and we were going through all that season 1 growing pains and like production problems and, you know, getting just the sets built and all those things that take up so much time. And so we broke a lot of the season before I got into that, but then while I was in that mess, she was able to like really carry the show brilliantly, and I was able to help and shape and do all those things. But like this year, because Originals is smooth and Vampire Diaries is smooth, I can kind of split my time equally between the two. And I wrote the second episode, which I love. I think it's beautiful. I think that it'll be good. And then I'm going to write again in the middle of the season. And as always, I always take a little pass through every script, and I did last year more often too. So my voice is in there, just sometimes more than others. Thanks, guys.